know there's a lot of you people out there. I'm really looking forward to this next panel. He's one of my favorite actors. He's one of my favorite professional wrestlers. And he just seems to be a top guy. So without further ado, I proudly introduce to you the former WCW heavyweight champion of the world, the Magic Man, David Arquette!
Hi. Thank you all for coming out. Thanks so much. It's so sweet to see you all. I really appreciate you coming out.
And I appreciate you letting me do that.
Thank you.
How are you? You okay?
I'm doing great.
You look like you're having a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. I love meeting the fans, and just it's an incredible convention. Everyone all dressed up. It's amazing.
There's an awful lot of people out here.
It's the best.
It's
I
good,
love
isn't it?
So much.
I know there's a lot of you dudes that want to ask questions, so if you do want to ask questions, we've got Tony Earnshaw, we've got Tim Johnson. Throw your hands in the air, they will come and get you, and you can ask yours. But I'm going to get some of mine in first, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
And then we'll just grab.
Sure.
So primarily, with it being for the love of horror, there's a lot of people who are going to want to know about Scream and Dewey.
Sure.
So let's take it back to 1996.
Oh, wow, yeah.
You starred in Scream. Did you expect where that went?
No, not at all. I mean, I was really thrilled to be able to work with Wes Craven. It was like a dream. And they had me come in for one of the other roles. And because Dewey was written as more of a like high school jock, like this big guy. And I said, Wes, I really think the role of Dewey would be really fun. I like the idea of acting opposite Courtney, and I love their relationship. I love that it was a cop that got no respect. So it worked out, and it changed my life. We didn't know it was going to be as big, but there was a magical feeling on the set.
Yeah. You knew something special was happening.
Yeah.
Because that cast is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, even today, they're all like Matthew Lillard, Skeet Ulrich, yourself, and then obviously you guys survived and came back for 4 sequels.
Yeah.
Probably not the 5th sequel, but...
The 6th, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I won't be there.
Well,
sorry, spoiler alert.
Yeah, not to ruin this year's 2022 Scream. We've all seen the new Scream, right? That's pretty good. Yeah, so obviously you're not going to be in number 6.
I don't know. I'm not going to be in number 6, but I've pitched him an idea for number 7 or 8. Let's hope they listen.
I'm going to open it straight up. If anyone wants to get a question, throw your hands up. So obviously you were in Scream 2, Scream 3. Have you got a favorite of the 5?
The first one was the favorite because everyone was so fresh-faced and like just, there was an energy there. It was, the mid to late 90s, and I don't know, it was just a really amazing time. I had decorated my room in all these like blacklight posters and lava lamps, and everyone would come over. I bought this little like hot rod that we'd drive around the parking lot. It was ridiculous. Courtney would go out of town because she was doing Friends at the time, and then she'd come back and I'd see her limousine because I was facing, and I'd wait for her to get into her room, and then I'd call and be like, hello? Just like a ghost face.
Did she know it was you, or?
Yeah, she was like, how did you know I was trying to? I was like.
Where's our first question? Tim, over there.
Sorry. So David.
Yeah.
You know when you were killed off?
Yes.
Who pitched the idea? Because I'm very annoyed.
I was too. No, they had sent me the script, and I was really excited they were going to do another Scream, and I was reading the script, and I was like, wow, I got a good role in this one. And then I got to that page, and I was like, oh, wow, okay. I had to put it down. But I got it. They wanted to sort of rip the heart out of the audience. And you know, you sometimes have to do that.
It worked because building up to Scream, we all thought one of you was going to die or one of you was going to be the killer. And there's a lot of chatter that they thought Dewey was going to be the killer in Scream.
Yeah.
But obviously...
I thought it should have been Gail. Not because she's my ex-wife, but, but because she wasn't from Woodsboro.
No.
You know, there was already a death in the Riley family.
That's right.
I mean, it's tragedy.
That poor family have been through enough.
I know.
Tatum and you.
I know.
We've got a question with Mr. Tony Earnshaw.
So, as you know, like you've gone through all these movies, like seeing people get killed and stuff. How did you feel when it came your time, and how did everyone else feel about it? Obviously, you've been friends with them for like years now.
Yeah, it was really kind of emotional for me. I mean, this whole project, there's not a lot of films that you do that you end up having a child as a result of it. So it had a real, like, you know, it spanned the course of 25 years of my life. We'd lost Wes. You know, there was such a, like, sort of sadness about that. But the fact that we had lost Wes and then my character died, I don't know, there was, there was something very emotional and very sort of personal about it. And the way we shot it too, it was during COVID. I stayed in the hotel with all the younger cast, and I would just like cook, you know, dinner for myself, and it was kind of isolated in this little place, kind of like my character was in the film. So I don't know. And then I went to the set, and then I think my death was like my second to last scene. So I did that, and then I had the big scene with Courtney while we're outside. And that was an emotional scene.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It was.
Obviously, shooting that after the death, you must have.
Yeah. Well, it was my last scene, and it was like with my ex-wife, and we're talking about all this stuff about a couple breaking up. You know, it was like these very personal, parallel lines in life that we're crossing. So it was easy to sort of access the emotion, you know. But you know, there were certain things that we were like kind of. They had Dewey as a real drinker, and they cut a lot of that out. But there were certain things that I was like, I don't know. I was sort of pushing him to go a little harder on some stuff, you know, not so much on other.
Understandable.
Yeah,
understandable.
Yeah, totally.
And you, at least you guys, you get on well enough to make a movie together. It's not too bad.
That was amazing. It's been incredible. We have a great relationship. We're co-parent our daughter, and you know, just incredible friend and family.
Yeah, that's all you can ask for, really.
Yeah.
Tim's got a question. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I wanted to ask if you like clowns in horror films, and also I made you a little bozo.
Thank you.
Can I give it you?
I mean, I love scary clowns aren't real clowns. They're scary clowns. No, clowns are supposed to make people happy. But it took me 15 years, but I finally acquired the rights to Bozo the Clown.
Right.
So I have a real affection for kind clowns, but you know, we did a bunch of research, and people that love clowns and love scary clowns just love them, just like you guys love horror films. So I appreciate that.
And we sat you next to Art the Clown.
I know, that was a nice scary. I'm gonna pretend clown, that's but I do love scary clowns. Thank you. Yes, that's so sweet. Oh, thank you. This is amazing. Thank you. I love it. Bozo's been doing music.
Okay.
You know, and let me see. I'll sing a little of it for you if that's all right.
Of course.
This is all a little personal message from Bozo to you. Beware of saying bad things to yourself. It's bad for you and bad for your health, for your self-esteem, and it's mean. Repeat after me. I'm incredibly special, and kindness is the key. Yes, thank you. I didn't warm up.
Tony.
Hi, David. Big fan of yours.
Thank you.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
Of these three, which would you say is your biggest claim to fame? The fact that you're the greatest WCW champion of all time.
Thank you.
Number two, the fact that you're part of the greatest horror franchise of all time.
Thank you.
Or number three, the fact that all the Friends cast had your surname in one of the episodes.
That was true. That was true.
Which would you say would be your biggest claim to fame of the
My
three?
biggest claim to fame, I think Dewey kind of had the most impact on my life, to be honest. Wes Craven was such a mentor to me. He really, when I directed my first film, The Tripper, he gave me incredible guidance on a personal level in my life. After I'd lost my mom, he was really supportive and, you know, sat me down with a real sort of fatherly conversation. He hired my father for Scream 2 and my brother Richmond. He was just a really kind of thoughtful, there's certain people you meet throughout your life that have a real impact and sort of guide you. They're kind of angels on earth, and Wes was certainly that. Thank you for that question.
Do you know something?
Oh, about that, that was, they put the friends' names after we had gotten married. But one thing that they never listened to me, and I hope the Scream people listened, because the pitch that I gave them for this idea is a really good one. One of the pitches I gave the Friends producers before they quit, I said every year, it's always weird when they go away for 10 years and then they come back, all these shows. I said, every year you should have Friends Home for the Holidays. And you do like a Thanksgiving episode.
And it would
I
work.
don't know. You don't really have Thanksgiving here.
I'd watch it.
It was a great idea. They didn't do it.
Where are we? Was the next? Oh, just over here.
Hi, David.
Hi.
Yeah. One of my favourite performances of yours, one of my favourite films is 3,000 Miles from Graceland when you played Gus.
Thank you.
Yeah. I wondered if there was any memories or anything special about that. And who did you favourite to work with? Anybody?
Yeah, well, it was amazing working with Kevin Costner and Kurt Russell. I mean, those guys are just legends, such amazing characters, and all the guys really on that. But there's a shootout in the Riviera Casino where we were filming in Las Vegas. And I'm walking around, they still have half of the casino open, and I've got this gun, this huge gun strapped to my arm, and I'm dressed as Elvis, and I'm waiting to do my scene, and my scene takes place, and we're having this big shootout. And they had designed it so there were copper walls all over the casino. So when we're shooting, I'm shooting, they're shooting at me, and there's all these sort of bullet holes that come up, but they put the squibs behind the copper wall. So I'm going like this, and boom, and then something hits my leg, and it takes a huge chunk out, so I have a big old hole there. And it bounced off and stopped somewhere close to my business.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so I don't know. Oh, and by the time they had gone to see what happened with the special effects guy, his truck was gone.
3,000 Miles to Graceland is such an underrated movie. I don't even think it got a proper release over here. I remember buying it on one of the Warner Brothers paper case DVDs, and it was just such a good film.
Yeah, it's a wild, wild movie.
Oh gosh, next question at the back over there.
So David, right.
Oh.
So,
Hello.
Oh, there you are.
when you were making Scream, what was the most difficult scene for you to film?
On the first Scream, it's so hard to remember back then, but I mean, there were like these, usually if you ever do a vampire movie or a horror movie, I mean, the fact that you're typically shooting nights, so you'll go like a month or two, you know, going to sleep at 6 in the morning and waking up at, 5 in the afternoon or whatever. I don't know, not that long. But, so it's hard doing nights, I guess. But I just remember working with Wes, and we'd do these funny things where he'd let us do certain stuff where, there's the one line where I say, "Oh, do you see that constellation up there? Do you know what it is?" And she says, "No, what is it?" I said, "I don't know, that's why I was asking you." That was one of Wes's lines. So we just had a bunch of fun like that. And then I was supposed to die in the first Scream, but Wes said, you know what? He called me to set and he said, "David, you're gonna sit on this gurney right here and, you put your thumb up, we'll see if you make it or not. We're gonna shoot it both ways." I was like, "Thanks, Wes." So he kept me alive.
Oh. Before we go on to the next question, one of my favorite films of yours is Eight-Legged Freaks.
Thank you.
I'll be honest with you. I went to see it because it was a David Arquette movie and We Love You from Scream and other things. But it's a giant spider movie and we never get them anymore.
I know.
And I feel like Eight-Legged Freaks, again, should be a pop culture classic.
I know.
It's friggin' wild.
I know. I love, those creature features, the old school films. That's what I loved about it. It was such a throwback.
Yeah, it was like a 1950s style, like Them or something. But the cast on that one, Scarlett Johansson was in it when she was a kid, and you've got Tom Noonan at the beginning.
Yeah.
Filming that, how was that? Because I'm guessing most of the spiders were CGI.
Yeah, they were all pretty much CGI. It was a lot of fun. I don't know, we shot it in Arizona. It was just a lot of desert stuff. There's this whole thing about a goatee in it, like they had me in a goatee and then they're making fun of the goatee. I just didn't understand that comedy. I was pitching other ideas, but it was a lot of fun. Dean Devlin was the producer on that, and he's a really tremendous producer.
Yeah, Independence Day and Godzilla and all that good stuff. Oh, another question at the back.
Hi, David. So is there from any of the Scream movies, did you get to keep any of the props, or is there anything that you wish you had kept, or any of the costumes?
I didn't keep anything. People ask that a lot now, but I never typically keep anything. So, but I'd love to have had his badge, like Dewey's badge, or I'm not sure. It was really funny. Like in the last Scream, they had decorated this trailer, and they had like a trophy of a barbecue, like he was some barbecue. Like champion.
Like best barbecue in Woodsboro, 2015.
I thought that was really funny. I don't know, but I didn't keep it.
Tony Henshaw, 2 questions. Hello.
Hi.
Hiya. Yeah, we can hear you. Yep.
Yeah. I pitched myself as the killer a few times, but Wes would never go for it. I was always like, Dewey should be. It's like, not Dewey. So he knew better than I, but I thought it was always like this red herring kind of element to him. And I don't know, just turned it all on its head, but...
I thought Scream 3, the first time I watched it, Dewey might be the killer, but he's the he's the advisor on set of the film. I thought it might turn out to be you then.
Yeah. No, that movie was all over the place. What happened with the Screams they had the first one was all written by Kevin Williamson and all set up and very clear. And then they sort of push him into like, let's film the next one next year. let's get the script. And then they're kind of rewriting a lot of the script as you're going. And then by the time the third one came, I think there was some controversy about a school shooting or something, so they had to change the location. They wanted to lighten it up, I think. So, but we were getting like new pages all the time, and yeah, so it was changing every moment.
From what I understand, Scream 3, it wasn't Kevin Williamson, and the original pitch for Scream 3 with the kids became the TV show called The Following.
Oh, no kidding.
With Kevin Bacon, yeah. So that was the original plot for Scream 3 that he reused for that.
Oh, wow, that's
yeah,
wild.
The one that you never got to make.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is wild.
That is wild.
Yes, Tony, hello.
As being one of the greatest WCW champions, whose idea was it to make you champion, and what was your reaction?
Bro.
I know.
Bro.
Yeah.
Was it him?
Yeah, it was Vince Russo. And I said, the first thing I said is, that's a terrible idea. What do you mean? We can't do that. But then they're like, no, it's gonna, whatever. It was always kind of a kid's dream. Like, you see the guys holding the thing up, it's like, oh, I'd love to be the champion someday. So when they mentioned it, I was like, wow, it is kind of like a fan's dream. It was just the fact that I was an actor was a different kind of thing. It made it, I don't know, that I didn't earn it, or they thought I was a pushover or something. But that's why I kind of came back and did the documentary, You Cannot Kill David Arquette. So thank you. So that I could sort of figure out why they got so mad at me, learn the business, sort of pay my dues in retrospect.
So has everyone seen You Cannot Kill David Arquette? If you haven't, you need to, because it's brilliant. So when I was researching to talk to you, I found out some statistics.
Okay.
Well, some facts. Every year, if you're not a wrestling fan, every year there is a countdown of the top 500 professional wrestlers in the world.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of professional wrestlers. In 2019, David Arquette ranked 453 in the PWI 500.
That was actually a big deal for me.
Yo, dude.
That was like, wow. Because I did the independent circuit for like 2 years. I went around all these different territories in America, and wrestling was, I mean, it's such an intense sport. Like, I had no idea how painful and physical and all these things happen in a wrestling ring that you have no idea. So now when I watch it, I'm like, oh, you know, you could just see. But some people, like when they're real legends, it's like incredible to do a match with guys like that, because then it's like they make it look so good, but it doesn't hurt quite as much.
Because you worked with one of my favorites, Colt Cabana.
Yeah, Colt Cabana is a legend.
He's awesome.
He is such a great guy and such a talented wrestler.
Yeah. And Jungle Boy Jack Perry.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite matches.
Luke Perry's son is a wrestler called Jungle Boy, if you didn't know.
Yeah.
And he's brilliant. He's really good.
He is brilliant. He's been wrestling since he was like 8 years old. He loves it. Luke was around right while we were filming the documentary, and I was asking him, I was like, aren't you proud of Jungle Boy? He's like, yeah, totally. But I said, how is it when you're watching the matches? He's like, I'm like scared. I was like, oh, wow. He's like, yeah, he's my son. I mean, I'm like worried that he's going to get hurt. I was like, I didn't like realize, like consider that, but yeah. And then he was at the death match that we had, which was crazy.
With Nick Gage?
Yeah.
Does anyone know who Nick Gage is? This dude knows who Nick Gage is.
Nick Gage fans.
Obviously, can we talk about that with your injury? So David was having what is known as a death match with this crazy independent wrestler called Nick Gage, and it wasn't Nicolas Cage.
I went on Twitter and I said, "Oh, I thought I was wrestling Nick Cage, not Nick Gage."
That would have been less violent.
That would have been funny.
And he accidentally cut your throat with a broken light bulb. Was it a light bulb?
Yeah, it's a light tube. Yeah.
Light tube. Sorry. Yeah.
So in death matches, you can use any weapons or whatever. So there was a light tube, and I don't know, it's kind of a long story, but certain things were happening, and I pulled his legs when I wasn't supposed to and got stabbed in the neck. Yeah, so if you like blood, go check it out.
We've got one question at the back. Nope. Hello.
I don't think. Oh yeah, it's on.
Hi.
Hiya. What do you think the best kill or death scene is in the entire Scream franchise?
What is the best kill in the entire Scream franchise, in your opinion?
I mean, Tatum's, like, the garage door was pretty epic for them to do that. What else?
Yours?
Yeah, mine was pretty intense. It was fun. I mean, not fun.
It wasn't fun for me.
It was exhausting, but it was cool. We spiced it up a little. They'd come up with some stuff, but I think they were worried about stuff. I was like, I've just been wrestling. I gotta do a flip here or whatever. But yeah, it was great to do. We always have amazing stunt performers and all the ghost faces. It's really, I mean, when you're on the set with Ghostface, it's amazing. And Roger's here somewhere. You know, Roger, who does the voice of Ghostface, whenever he'd be on set, Wes Craven would make sure we'd never meet him. So I'd only met him twice, and that was after the films were over. But Wes would always keep him somewhere else, so we'd never see him. He'd never stay at our hotel. But then when you'd have a scene with him, he'd be on the phone right there, like, hello? Hello. Like, okay, what are you doing? What are you doing? I was like, stop it, you're freaking me out. Am I freaking you out? I was like, stop, we're about to roll.
Also, before we go to the next question, we've done 30 minutes of a Q&A with David Arquette, and no one has asked, what's your favorite scary movie? Unbelievable. Tony.
Hi. So last year, my dad passed away completely out of the blue, really randomly, and he was a big fan of yours. So in the first few weeks, the only thing that got me through it was my husband here bought me the Scream box set, and I just binge watched them. So now it's my favorite scary movie. So I was going to ask you, what's your favorite scary movie?
Oh, thank you. God bless your dad. I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
I mean, I love The Shining, and I heard the twins are here, which is really exciting. Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably The Shining. I typically say that just because, I don't know, I saw it at a young age and it had a profound effect on me.
Hi, David. Being a wrestling fan, I just want to know if there's any wrestlers nowadays that you would like to have faced that you never have.
I really love Dalton Castle right now. He's just one of my dear friends, and I just love his performance and all that. I'm not sure I'd want to fight. I mean, I probably would want to fight him because he's one of the kind of pros that would make it not hurt as bad. But I always wanted to fight Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
I thought that would be like, you disrespected the belt my father had. I'm gonna get you. Like, all right, I'll prove it to you. If I can beat you, I can prove that I'm a real champion.
You are the real champion? You are the real. You are.
I am a real champion. I mean,
when are they gonna put you in the Hall of Fame?
I don't know.
That would be awesome.
I don't know. I had a disastrous Monday Night Raw one time where I was going through the divorce, and you know, it was a tough time, and it was in New Orleans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we had a crazy night. I was opening this nightclub, and we had just had this whole circus of people with us. And yeah, so I showed up, and I was trying to get heat, like when I first came out. But I didn't like register that this is Monday Night Raw. This is like nationwide. This is worldwide. It's not about the you know, the house show at that point. But I was like trying to get heat from, you know, New Orleans, who had recently gone through everything, and, you know, with the hurricane and all that. So it wasn't really the right, I don't know. Needless to say, I think I upset some people over there, so I'm sorry, but...
They'll get you back. They'll get you back.
I did get put through a table by Randy Orton. That was kind of a dream come true, so...
That's cool. Some of them. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
You talked about how Wes Craven, you know, mentored you, and especially when you started directing. I just kind of wanted to know what the difference between taking direction was for you and then going into giving direction. My friend would also really like to know what your favorite wrestler is.
What my favorite wrestler is? I don't know. I loved Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth. That little combo was so good. Yeah, I do a horrible Macho Man impression. But wow. About taking direction, I don't know. It's changed throughout the years. Early in my career, I always thought, I mean, not so much with Wes, but with some directors, I always thought it was like this battle. Like, you'd be really confrontational, like, stick to your beliefs of what your character was about. And as I got older, it's like the director's vision, so you want to kind of like help them, you know, do that. But as far as directing, I had the amazing opportunity of working with a dear friend, Paul Rubens, who's Pee Wee Herman. Yeah, on The Tripper. And it was so like a dream of mine. He's such a hero of mine. And on the first take we did this thing, and he was like really funny. And I was like, well, let's maybe try another take where it's just bring it down a little. Let's make him, he's this real conniving, kind of serious, you know, concert promoter and a real jerk. And we did the second take, and it had like taken all of the energy out of his performance, his joy. So I was like, forget what I just said, go back to that first take and really like just go even further. And that was where we found the character, where it was just some people, you have to like let them be free, and you have to like, they're almost like kids in a way, where you encourage them and then they blossom. Other kids need more structure in a way.
Did being a director change you as an actor?
Yeah, for sure. Directing is it's a beautiful, very time-consuming and detail-oriented thing. But you learn all, you know, even after having acted for several years, you really learn what a first AD does, a production designer does, a wardrobe, like all of the levels and how intricate it all is, and about theme and like how you want to tell the story and how you want to set up your shots and how your relationship with the cinematographer, how important that is. And then when it comes down to the actors, working with them and creating an atmosphere that's really, you know, flowing.
We've got 5 minutes left or so.
We've got a little bit more than that, I think.
Okay.
My watch was fast.
It's 1:05. We've got 5 minutes, I think.
We've got two questions down here and then one over here, please.
And then this chap over here. Sound okay, Tony?
Hi. Okay, so this is just about the Scream universe. Based on the fact that he was apparently meant to be in the third movie, and based on the fact that we never actually saw a headshot, do you believe that Stu is alive in the Scream universe?
I love it. By the way, you guys all know far more about Scream than I do. Like, you know, certain things. But yeah, I think he is alive. For one, Matthew's such an amazing actor and person. He's just such a wonderful, creative genius. But I say in Scream, 5, he's a real loony bin or something. He's a real Looney Tunes or something like that. which I took as he's like in a mental hospital or something. So that's what I think. That's what I would do if I were them. I would absolutely bring him back.
Hello. So I obviously love you as Dewey in Scream, and you've already mentioned you cannot kill David Arquette. But something else that I loved also come out this year was a game called The Quarry, which was fantastic. And I just want to know what it was like filming that, and if you were ever actually on set with like Ted Raimi, who was your brother, and just what it was like filming it.
What was the question?
It went a bit quiet, but I'm guessing it was, what was your experience making The Quarry?
Yeah, what was it like making The Quarry, and were you ever on set with like Ted Raimi, actually
with Ted Raimi?
Yeah.
Filming it?
That's a good
didn't get to work with Ted on the thing, but while we were promoting it, we had some interaction, which he's an incredible guy. It was during COVID, so I didn't get to work with too many people. I got to work with Justice directly, but yeah, you know, it's an interesting thing. They'll put all these dots on you and scan you, put you in underwear and scan your whole body, and then you get out here. I love the technology behind it. You could see like all these amazing computer techs, and they're like, yeah, check this out. When you walk around, you could see your sort of frame walk around the space. So yeah, I love video games, and being a part of them was really fun. That was a really top-notch group of people.
If you haven't played The Quarry, it's like a choose-your-own-adventure thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And every scene you make a decision and it changes the game, and there's like 175 different combinations of endings.
Yeah.
And on a little bit of a personal note, I've been with my wife for like 11 years. She doesn't like video games. She doesn't play video games. She doesn't like horror games. This summer, there's a game coming out called The Quarry. She sees the trailer. She goes, is that David Arquette? Yeah. We bought it release day, and it's the first video game we've ever played together.
Oh, that's sweet.
And that's because of you.
Oh,
so that was cool.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet.
We got a question down the front.
I'm a big WWE fan, WCW fan, and I've always been, I've always had the mick taken out of me by my mates who don't like it.
Lift the mic up, please.
And they all said to me, they all dared me to ask you whether I could receive a chop off of a WCW World Heavyweight
Oh my
Champion.
gosh, you want a chop? All right, bring him up.
Go.
My gosh.
I'll get him to say it on the camera that he's not going to sue us.
Yeah.
Hello, sir, with the Candyman t-shirt. What is your name?
My name's Chris.
Big welcome to Chris, everybody.
Hey, Chris. How are you, buddy?
Chris, can you just say on camera that you're not going to sue us?
I'm not going to sue anybody.
Anything that happens to you is entirely your own decision.
Yeah. Anything that happens to me is entirely my decision.
we all witnessed this.
All right. Well, we can't do it with the shirt on.
Get it off.
Just pull it up. Or yeah, there you go. All right, here we go, Chris. You ready?
No, not really.
Yeah, stand on this side. Here you go.
Let's get it.
Oh, sorry. That was not a great one. The main thing about a chop is don't hit the nipples. You all right? You gotta mark the... You're doing great. Dude. You should
Big
give
round
it a
of applause
shot.
for Chris.
Good job, Chris. Look at the hand mark. Sorry. You did great.
Can I go? No.
Oh, you want to jump?
No.
Are you going again? Before you put your top back on, can I get a photo with that print? Chris, everybody! Well, this took a turn, didn't it? There's your microphone, sir.
Thank you.
Go and interview David Arquette, they say. Talk about Scream, they said. Slap the crap out of Chris. Well, you're not getting slapped. That's it. Just, no.
I'll put you in a figure 4 leg lock.
They didn't tell me I could wrestle him. We got a question from... No!
Please!
I will.
Stop!
Ben, over here.
Tony, over there, with the lady from Midsummer. Hello!
Hey! I should have asked you this earlier, but I totally didn't. Is he paying attention? David?
Where are you?
Hey!
Oh, hiya! Midsummer!
Hey! I should have asked you this earlier, but I was freaking out and nervous, so I'm going to ask you now. And it totally relates to you just taking your top off, so thank you for doing that. How many tattoos do you actually have, and do you have a personal favourite? I like the little seahorse you have on your chest. I love the little seahorse.
Thank you. I don't know, I lost count. But my daughter wrote, "I love you, Mom and Dad."
Yeah,
up
I
here.
love that one. I love that one.
Yeah,
It's so
that's
cute.
my favorite.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, the Strangle lady has a real question.
Out of all 9 ghost faces, like all of them, who is your actual favourite?
My favorite Ghostface?
Yeah.
Like one of the killers?
The characters, yeah, all the killers.
Well, yeah, I mean, Billy and Stu were like the greatest combo in my opinion. Those two guys, they're such great people too. They're just like, I don't know. I just love that. Their dynamic, that scene, they were filming that for weeks in that house. And I have this Super 8, I released a little of it when the Scream came out, but I shot some Super 8 of the set there. But it was right when I was first sort of flirting with Courtney, and I don't know what it was, but I came up to the set and I like snuck on the set, and then I snuck into like the trailer, and I put on Gail's costume. And like her reporter costume, one of those funny, colorful ones. And then I put on a trench coat. And I ran to the set and I went, oh, you couldn't do that nowadays.
No. I also remember reading that you got the blame for the infamous Betty Page haircut in Scream 3.
That was my fault.
Well, that was your fault. Oh, fair enough.
Oh, yeah, the bangs were my fault completely. Although I pitched a totally different hairstyle, they did something weird and crazy. But there's a long story about it. But I said, do it like Betty Page, like, because I love, you know,
and they did it like Jimmy
models.
Page?
But what happened was, Courtney's like such a sweet person that they only had one set of these bangs, and they had cut them really too short. And instead of like saying, no, we're not going to do it, or I can't use it, she just went along with it. I don't know. It's kind of funny now.
We're going to do one more question, and then we're going to let you get back to your table.
Hi, man. Very quick one. The Scream series is phenomenal, and they even remade it into a Netflix TV show. Did you watch it? Did you have any influence? Did they ask about it?
I watched the pilot. I remember them sort of approaching Wes about it, about some sort of like, I don't know. I remember somehow either hearing Wes talk about it, I'm not sure, but he said in the opening scene they cut somebody's head off, and that's just going to be a problem. It's going to look like this bouncing ball, you know? And I think it did. But then when I did the Tripper, I had a head job too. So I remembered to weight it down more.
And that is all we've got time for. Please get off
you
your
all.
feet and give a massive round of applause for Mr. David Arquette!
Thank you.